What's Crack-A-Lackin? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into another episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleaze. Today, we're going to be diving into your must-buy running backs right now before it is too late. I'm going to give you my top 5 running backs that you should be looking to buy right now moving forward that are going to help you in your fantasy football season heading down the stretch here. And you have to remember, guys, that the trade deadline is November 4th, so there is a lot to talk about here. So if you guys want to take a moment, here is the tweet that I put out this morning. These are players that I think that are going to be moved from the deadline. We could throw Kenneth Walker and A.J. Brown on there as well, but those teams are 4-2, so it's a little different for me. I know A.J. Brown has his battle with the Eagles and how bad that offense is. Someone told you that was going to happen. And Kenneth Walker's having his fits with how the running game is going in Seattle. So they are 4-2 names to think about there as well. But I have Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, Shadur Sanders if he doesn't take the job from Gabriel, Anthony Richardson, possible trade candidates for the quarterback. Running backs, Breece Hall, Alvin Kamara. Now, I know they said that Alvin Kamara doesn't want to be traded or he doesn't want to move out of the city of New Orleans. I get all of that. But he has a no-trade clause. He doesn't have a no-trade clause in his contract. If the Saints are a franchise that want to be moving forward, they need to move Alvin Kamara at age 30. I know that he brings fans to the tickets, to the games, and he's been there forever, and he's centerpiece of the Saints, all that for a decade. I get all that. But this is business, so I'm still going to put Kamara on there. Devon Achane, Tony Pollard, DeAndre Swift, Aaron Jones, Isaiah Pacheco, those round out the running backs. Wide receiver, DJ Moore's had a lot of trade talk with him. Jalen Waddle, Dolphins are in shambles. Calvin Ridley just went down with an injury. But Titans just fired their head coach, Callahan, as well. So everything's falling apart there. Jerry Jeudy, Jacoby Myers, Raiders are done. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Brandon Ayuk on IR. And the Niners wide receiver situation, he could be a very interesting trade piece. Tight end side, David Njoku just went down with an injury. That may hurt his trade value. Mark Andrews has been a hot trade topic. Cole Kmet with Colston Loveland coming back. Juwan Johnson, Taysom Hill, Michael Mayer, Chig Okonkwo, Mike Gesicki, and Noah Fant. Now, most of these are teams that are out of it. That is why these players are going to be moved, in my opinion, or possibly, let's say, moved. So this is my possibly trade list. And you've got to think about the cuffs behind them and the players coming up behind them. That is thinking ahead in fantasy football. So before we dive into the 5 running backs you should be buying, guys, make sure you tap that thumbs up, hit that subscription button, turn that bell on. I'll be live tonight with my buddy Big Draft Energy, who we run the Guys FF Discord together with. We'll be doing our recap show of Week 6, where we were right, where we were wrong. We like to be transparent. We're also going to be dropping in our Drafters ticket on drafters.com for Monday Night Football doubleheader tonight. If you haven't signed up on drafters.com, make sure you use promo code SLEEZ. It will double your initial deposit up to $100. You can DFS draft with us like we did on Friday. Get in all the pickups with us, everything like that, guys. Let's take a look now at the running backs you should be buying right now before it's too late. Starting off with the number 1 running back you should be buying. And remember, guys, this is also based on he is the number 1 trade candidate for a running back right now, with the Jets being the only winless team in the NFL. And someone could have told you that for free. Now, if you followed my channel before the season, before anything, I did not like Breece Hall at ADP. I did not think he would return his investment. I knew that Aaron Glenn was coming from the Detroit Lions, and they are going to use a 2-headed, 3-headed monster like you saw before Braylon Allen went down. You were even seeing Isaiah Davis get carries in the offense as well. Now, Breece Hall hasn't even had a 20-point game on the season. He has not scored a touchdown on the ground, through the air, straight zeros across the board. He is RB20, averaging 11.8 points per game. Not Breece Hall numbers. Now we got to look at the entire season here. 88 attempts, 410 yards, 4.66 yards per carry is not bad in a Jets offense that is absolute shambles. 17 receptions, 150 yards. You would expect that to be more. 0 touchdowns again on both sides. Snap share 60.6%. That's RB2 usage. I expect RB1 at 70%. Target share 14.9. That's the good part. Number 6 right there. Still not getting it done through the air with Justin Fields running out. He doesn't get to target his running backs like a statue quarterback that sits there, so it really hurts Breece Hall even more. Red zone touches only 5. Braylon Allen had more before injury, and that was in week 3. That is not good numbers for Breece Hall. And he's 71 points, RB20 like we talked about. Now, looking ahead, the trade deadline is November 4th, so pretty much about 3 weeks away here. You could say 3 weeks of football away. So Are the Cardinals going to go after him? Are the Chiefs going to go after him? Is there another team that's going to make a splash after Breece Hall? I 100% believe that. I am going to buy this guy regardless. And you're about to get Carolina and Cincy for matchups for them as well. And then the bye week in week 9. So this could really make Breece Hall look even better moving through these next 2 weeks of great running back matchups. And then you have Braylon Allen possibly coming back. I think he was a 10-week IR, so he'll be like week 12, week 13 around there. So they're not going to be looking to keep Breece Hall on a contract year after what they've seen, in my opinion. This man is going to be traded, and this is someone you should go trade for right now as well, especially if he lands on a contending team. Running back number 2 that you should be buying is going to be R.J. Harvey of the Denver Broncos, the rookie stud that hasn't really got his chance to shine yet. So when you look at these numbers, you got to remember he's in a Sean Payton rotating wheel right now, and he is behind J.K. Dobbins, who carries one of the biggest injury risks for any running back in the NFL. So 33 attempts, 154 yards, 4.67 yards per carry, 0 touchdowns on the ground. That average per carry is great, by the way. 16 receptions, 108 yards. Got to like that. He's a great receiving back. Put up a touchdown there as well. Snap share, again, these are low because of the rotation, 29.8. Last week he played 21. The most he played was 41% against Cincinnati when they blew him out. Target share 9.3. Again, that's limited. But red zone touches right here at 4. That's not bad for a limited running back that's out there. So that means they trust him in the goal line situations. Total points 48.2. He's RB37. Definitely has not returned any investment of what you spent for ADP capital on him. Now, you just saw J.K. Dobbins, and if you've watched J.K. Dobbins at all this year, and like I've talked about with his injuries, so last year he went 12 weeks where he was balling out, and then he got injured. We're almost 6 weeks in. I'm not banking on an injury, but it is very, very risky for him. This man has been hurt his entire career, and he's lived off of game-breaking runs. That is what has made J.K. Dobbins effective this year. It is not that you can look at the yards per carry. That's what the long won every single game. So last week he had a smash matchup versus the Jets. Couldn't even get loose on 14 carries for 40 yards, 2.86. That is what you are normally going to see with J.K. Dobbins unless he can crack one outside and get loose. Now, do I think that J.K. Dobbins is going to lose this job? No, I do not. Not unless injury. The Broncos are 4-2. But R.J. Harvey, if the eye test doesn't tell you anything for Sean Payton, he's the more explosive back. He's getting more work. They're getting him more involved. He is a rookie coming in. And I just, in my head, I just cannot see J.K. Dobbins ever playing a full season healthy. And when, if not when, I don't want to say when, if he goes down, which is like an 80 to 90% probability that he is with his NFL career, R.J. Harvey is going to win fantasy football championships and not lose this job and never look back. That is why I want to buy him as much as I can right now. And if he's on your waiver wire, go and get him 100%. Number 3 that you should be buying at running back, and I'm not giving up on, is Travion Henderson. And I just cannot make this make sense in my head. I just don't understand it. I don't know if Vrabel and Josh McDaniels, something happened inside the locker room or something that's going on. They like to say that Ramondre Stevenson is the better pass blocking running back when Travion Henderson had the highest pass blocking numbers coming out of Ohio State for any running back there was. So I'm not buying that. There's got to be something going on behind the scenes here. But let's look at his numbers, and then I'll dive into a little more here. So he's only had 48 attempts, 141 yards, 3.6 yards per carry, 1 touchdown. He got that little 1-yard punch in. 16 receptions. He's a great receiving back, one of the best in the class. 99 yards, 0 receiving touchdowns. Snap share only about around 40%, which is mind-boggling, which is number 44. Target share 10.4. That's very good. Like I said, he's a great receiving back. That's number 23. He's even got 5 red zone touches, which we just talked about with R.J. Harvey. That is a good number for a backup running back. That's a lot of trust right there in the red zone. 46.7 points, RB38. Definitely has not returned his investment at ADP. He's only had 2 games over 10 points. But what we have to look at here, and this is just, like I said, you make it make sense to me because I can't make it make sense. You've got Ramondre Stevenson, who just fumbled 3 times in a row out of 4 games. 3 times in a row out of 2 games. Almost fumbled another one last week. Antonio Gibson, they're using him over Travion Henderson. He tears his ACL. And then we come out against the Saints. The Saints, which is a bottom 5 run D, and he only sees 9 snaps or 9 touches, 30% snaps. I don't understand what is going on. And then you look at Ramondre Stevenson. He plays 72% of the snaps. He has 13 carries for 18 freaking yards. That is a 1.38 yards per carry. Then let's go back to Buffalo, where he plays 52%, and Trayvon Henderson played 50%, and Ramondre Stevenson had freaking 7 carries for 14 yards. That's a 2.0 yards per carry. That's 20 freaking carries for 32 yards, guys. That is absolutely terrible. And I know he found the end zone twice against Buffalo in that weird goal line carry game where he even fumbled and got it back. Like I said, the trust issue, I don't know what's going on with the head coach or Josh McDaniels and Vrabel. I cannot make it make sense. The eye test 100%, if you did any scouting or watched any of the preseason or anything, will tell you that TreVeyon Henderson is the more explosive, better running back. He's going to get his time. I just do not believe that Ramondre Stevenson is going to hold this job with the production he's putting out, and you could possibly get a league-winning running back for very, very cheap right now. Running back number 4 that you should be buying, especially coming off the bye, and some people might have even dropped him, and this is a massive pickup for free if he is on your waiver wire. It is going to be Woody Marks, the USC rookie that is playing for the Houston Texans now. Sorry, I got the hiccups. When we look back, week 5, I had him as a smash play versus Baltimore. He did not come through. It was absolutely terrible with the 2.4 points that he had. But people look at it like, oh my God, Nick Chubb, man, he won the job. He's the running back to go. When Nick Chubb played Baltimore and he had his touchdown, he only had 34% of the snaps. 39% of those snaps went to Woody Marks. He had 56 and 48 before that. It was just an aberration game. So when we're looking at these stats here, remember, these are all behind the sticks of snap share. He had 11, 27, then he started to come up, right? Not a lot of production comes from that amount of snaps. So 36 attempts, 157 yards, 3.8 yards per carry, 0 touchdowns on the ground. Great receiving back out of USC, 6 receptions, 96 yards, has put up a touchdown through the air. I think he has a touchdown on the ground, too. He has a touchdown on the ground. I messed that up. I know he scored against Tennessee and both on the ground through the air. So he does have a touchdown on the ground, so that's 2. So that's a bad graphic on my fault. Sorry there. Now, snapshot 37.4%. That's because he had low at the beginning, right? So 11% week 1, 27 week 2. Then you got to average out 37.4 with 48 and 56. So he's getting more work. Target share 6.2%. That should go up. Red zone touches right here. Same as TreVeyon Henderson. Same as RJ Harvey as a backup running back. That's a lot of trust in the red zone with 5 touches for a rookie. 41.3 points, RB 40. Now, why do I like this so much? Well, because we don't know anything about Joe Mixon, and it seems like he's not going to play all year. I mean, they said we'll get an update here in a month. We'll get an update in a week. We'll get an update 2 weeks. I've heard this all year long. It seems very, very sketch with Joe Mixon. And what you have to look at here is this schedule coming ahead for the Texans. Are they going to want to keep 29, turning 30-year-old Nick Chubb as their running back if they start to lose these games, which I really suspect they're going to? So, and I'm not saying that like against the Texans or anything. I'm just saying it's going to be tough. They go at Seattle, San Francisco, Denver, Jacksonville. Those are all teams over 500. Then you get Tennessee. That could be a get-right game for them. Then you get Indy and KC. They have 6 out of 7 pretty much playoff teams based right now in football that they're going to go up against. Their offensive line is not that good. He's the best receiving back in this running back room that they have. Damian Pierce has been phased out, and I just don't believe that Nick Chubb is kind of like a J.K. Dobbins. Man, this guy's knee is just robotically put together with like 5 freaking metal bars. I want to buy Woody Marks, and I truly believe he's going to be the RB1 and give you flex value play down the rest of the season, and you should be going to get him right now. Running back number 5 that you should be buying, especially off a massive down week of 4.7 points, is going to be Zach Charbonnet. But I told you guys, don't start those Seattle running backs versus Jacksonville, man. That defense is good. But we're going to look at the stats here. This one's a little longer one. We're going to look at a couple things here of why in the Kubiak system, even before the season started, I was Zach Charbonnet over Kenneth Walker at value. You can check the receipts on that one. Now, so 60 carries, 156 yards, 2.6 yards per carry. Not great there. You got to remember he also missed week 3 as well. So stats are a little lower, missing a game, obviously. 3 touchdowns on the ground. He is the red zone back. 4 receptions, 30 receiving yards, 0 touchdowns through the air. 53.3% snap share. He played 60% last week, so even went up against Jacksonville. 3.7 target share, red zone touches. Here you go. 13 red zone touches. That is number 14 in the NFL, and 40.6 points, RB41. You got to remember he missed a week as well. And he's also had 2 games of 1 point and 4 points, which really hurt him. So, and it is kind of touchdown dependent. But we've talked about Kenneth Walker. We've talked about his anger with the situation at running back. They are 4-2. I don't know. I'm not going to say that Kenneth Walker is on my, trade list that I showed at the beginning of the video, but it's a possibility. And you also have to remember that Kenneth Walker has never played an NFL season in his career fully healthy the whole year, which is why they are limiting him to snaps, which they alluded to all year long, which is why they alluded this to being a timeshare all year long. So buying Zach Charbonnet, you're not just buying the running back getting more snaps, you're also getting the running back that doesn't have an injury history, which is very, very nice. Charbonnet's missed a couple games here and there, but Kenneth Walker has missed like 4 or 5 almost every game of his career, or every season of his career. So now we look at the snap share distribution. Week 6 versus Jacksonville, a game they had in hand. Kenneth Walker played 35% of the snaps to Charbonnet's 60. He had 10 carries for 34 yards at 3.4 yards per carry. Obviously, the week before he popped versus Tampa Bay with the big run. He's kind of like a J.K. Dobbins. Needs to hit his electric run to make his yards per carry look great. Now, a week before that, 56 snaps to 44%. Again, Charbonnet leading the way. This is going to be the Zach Charbonnet getting more touches, 12 carries to 10 carries, 9 carries to 10 carries. And you look at the red zone where Kenneth Walker has 1 carry inside the red zone. Now, the Seattle Seahawks with Jackson Smith and Jigba in their offense, they are going to be prolific all year long. Sam Darnold, the Minnesota Vikings got to just be kicking themselves for Sam Darnold, man. He looks absolutely great. So when you're buying this guy low right now, which is one of my favorite buys, you're getting a flex play with touchdown upside and a great Kubiak run system with an offensive line I didn't really think that was great at the beginning, but they are scheming it up to be decent enough, to where your running back can score. And they got to worry about Jay season over top no matter what that draws double coverage. So you have to go get this guy kind of now as a buy because he didn't do anything this week. So this is like one of my buy right now guys, because you're going to get a buy. And then, well, you could maybe wait for the buy, honestly, if you think about it in week 8. But then you're going to get Washington, Arizona, Tennessee. 3 of the next 4 games are the bottom 4 run teams. And Charbonnet is going to absolutely feast on these teams. And it's going to be too late by then to buy. So go get this man now. Thanks for rocking with me today, guys. That is the end of the episode. That is my top 5 running backs you should be buying right now in fantasy football that are going to help you down the stretch to get that ultimate goal of that championship, guys. My next video is going to be my top 5 wide receivers. I might go into 6 or 7, depends on how many I like when I start doing the research here. Before we head out, guys, make sure you tap that thumbs up, hit that subscription button, turn that bell on. Again, I'll be live tonight recapping the entire week 6 before Monday Night Football. And if you guys haven't checked out the Guys FF Discord or signed up on drafters.com, it is all pinned in the comments and in the description. Make sure you sign up. Make sure you check out the Discord. We help everyone 24/7 off stream with fantasy football. That's it for me in this episode, guys. I hope to catch you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoyed. Sleazebomb out.